Hi, and welcome to Abundance Masters. I'm your host, Genevieve Kahn of GenevieveKahn.com, and I'm an abundance creation guide. Now, what is abundance? Well, that's what this great Abundance Masters series is about. And we have with us today Laura Clark. Now, Laura is a master soul coaching practitioner and an instructor trainer. So I'm really so excited to ask you more about that, Laura. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. You know, this whole series has just been so much fun, and I really am so excited to continue it. So when you mention that you're a master soul coaching practitioner and instructor trainer, I love that part of it too, because you're literally teaching others how to do this.
Yes.
What does that mean if you're a master soul coaching practitioner?
Sure. So what a soul coaching practitioner does is he or she guides their clients, and my dogs are really excited about this. So let them be excited. They love it when I talk about abundance.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
They should be quiet. I'm not sure what's going on. We'll continue. A soul coach helps guide his or her clients to understand their inner truth so they can hear it more consistently, understand it more clearly, and act upon it with great courage to get whatever you're looking for in life.
That is so awesome. I love that you help clients find their inner truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, because so often our inner truth kind of gets, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of gets chased out of us, really, from childhood, childhood on. So it must be such powerful healing work that you do to help people discover that.
Yeah, it's really great because our truth does get lost from when we're young and we're being told to stand in line at school, or we're being told, no, you can't do that. You have to go do this. And we kind of lose that ability to connect with our innate wisdom. And we start shoulding all over ourselves, right? Well, I should go do this and I should go do that, because we're trying to please everybody else and be something that we're not uniquely qualified and brilliantly designed to do, which is what our own purpose is. So when you can quiet down the chatter that's all around you and get inside and get that truth, things begin to blossom and burst. And it's just really exciting to see that with my clients. And then with my instructors too. So I train others to be soul coaches. And in that training, you just see people blossoming and bursting and growing. And that's when things can change out in the world, when we embrace our own inner brilliance and share that with everybody. That's when really amazing changes happen in the world.
Yeah, I can just imagine. And it's something that I think a lot of us coaches, guides, whatever we choose to call ourselves, that's really what we want to do for our clients, is
Absolutely.
really help them get in touch with their inner truth and then bring that out into the world in whatever way suits them.
Exactly.
Not whatever way suits society as a whole, not whatever way suits our parents,
right,
our spouses, anybody else. It's really about our inner truth and living that. And that's just such an important thing. Now, Laura, did you initially have trouble creating abundance in your own life?
Oh, heck yes. Because I was following that path of what I should be doing. I graduated from high school. I went to college. I got the corporate job. And each and every step of the way, it wasn't a full yes. It was a yes, oh, but I'm not sure. Yes, oh, but. And it wasn't that fear of, I'm not sure I can do that. It just that those choices weren't fully aligned with my purpose and my passion. And I was young, I was young trying to find that. So it took a long time for me to recognize my own value. And I think that that's one of the keys to abundance, is really stepping in and being self-confident about what your value is. And I worked in nonprofit sectors for 15, 20 years And nonprofits, they're much better now, but traditionally they weren't paying great money. And I was like, well, this is okay. I'm doing it in service to the community. I'm being helpful and supportive, and I don't need that much money right now. I don't need that much in my life. And I was okay with all of that. But somewhere along the line, my truth got squashed. Somewhere along the line, I wasn't respecting myself enough to grow and prosper.
I'm taking notes as you're talking. It's amazing how, and I actually did the same thing early on when I was working for somebody else. That thing, I don't need that much money. It's almost as if we were trained as we were growing up that desiring a lot of money is not okay. You know, that thing in the Bible, money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Or love of money is the root of all evil. That's something that has been ingrained into us. And it's actually, nothing can be further from the truth. I believe the evil part of it is when you're trying to keep all your money for yourself and you're not helping anybody with any of it.
Sure.
And the greed part of it, that's the evil part.
Yeah.
But loving money and wanting to be wealthy, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. What do you think, Laura?
I think you're right on the money, pardon the pun, for that. You know, you look at the sitcoms of the 70s and 80s, which were my generation of sitcoms, and which ones did we love? We loved the ones where the villain was the evil, greedy guy, and the hero was the person who just, you know, wasn't embracing money, wasn't embracing abundance, wasn't embracing prosperity, but would step forward as that hero to whatever that script was for that particular week. So it is innately ingrained in us through religion, through society, through the comedies that we so love, you know. So I think that when you now, moving forward in my life, I look at money as the impetus, as the catalyst for me being able to be passionate about living and be inspired to live on purpose and my truth. And by doing so, I'm in a much better position to serve more people, to work in my community as a volunteer, to support nonprofits. You're in a much better position when you are attracting abundance than when you're repelling it, to be in a place of living your truth.
That is such a powerful point that you made, Laura, and I didn't really connect until you mentioned that about what's presented on TV. And in movies too, you know, like Robin Hood, right?
Oh, sure.
Steal from the rich to give to the poor, and rich, wealthy people have always been portrayed as the bad guys.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Of course we're going to feel guilty if we want to be financially free, which, you know, some people consider that to be true wealth, is when you have all that you need, all that you could ever want, and you never have to worry about money again. Why should we feel guilty about that?
I'm over the guilt. I used to carry that guilt a long way. When I finally left nonprofit work and opened my own business, I opened up a healing arts business. So it was massage and Reiki and, you know, a lot of those touch modalities.
Yeah, I've done that too in the past.
Yeah, and a lot of us who have stepped into the next ideation of ourselves start in that place of being able to support people energetically and with touch therapies. And that positioning can really, really squash that sense of wanting abundance, needing abundance, because if you define yourself as a healer, traditionally healers do things for apples and oranges and salads, and in exchange and barter, and you do not value yourself when you step into that healing arts position. You'd have to show me somebody who valued themselves right out of the gate doing that kind of work, because I don't think I've ever met somebody like that. And that's the next step of that unraveling the onion of going from corporate work where you're devaluing yourself to I'm gonna run my own business. Oh, but I can't charge because I'm a healer, right? And then you have to go through that metamorphosis to get to the other side. And indeed, one of the things that I did to fully do that is I stopped embracing myself with the label healer, because it squashed me too much. So I became the catalyst to somebody's healing. And once I did that, that's when I decided I really wanted to help people from the inside out, because as a catalyst, that's that energy behind you. That's somebody who's a cheerleader, and that's somebody who is empowered themselves and therefore self-respects themselves enough to start charging what they're worth.
Yeah, that's such an important journey that you went on. And I went on a very, very similar journey, that it was, oh, well, I'm a healer, or I'm a massage therapist, I'm a polarity therapist, I'm a Reiki master.
Right.
So I'm supposed to be spiritual. So if I'm supposed to be spiritual, oh, well, heaven forbid I actually ask for money.
Exactly, because the Lord will provide, right? Or the universe is going to provide, so you don't need to ask for it, which is completely opposite of what the true law of prosperity is all about.
Exactly. There is enough for everybody.
Absolutely.
Even if we get to something to the effect of, competition. I personally don't believe in that. I don't believe that you can only prosper because somebody else doesn't. So, and it's, the universal laws state that there's, there's the law of sufficiency and abundance.
Yeah.
There's lots of abundance. There's enough for everybody.
And you can see that more and more as you look, if you study economics, right, and you look at the periods of recession and the periods of abundance, when we go into an abundant period and a period of prosperity, everybody is prospering. Everyone is winning. Everyone is succeeding. When we go into a period of recession, there are a lot of people who are still succeeding. There are a lot of people who are still prospering. And those are the people who believe in their ability to do so and co-create that abundance with the universe. The people during a recession time who are not prospering are those people that go into fear-based limit thinking, where there's not enough, and those people can have it, but I can't. And then they don't prosper. So economics has a lot to teach us about abundance too.
It absolutely does. And even during the Great Depression in the 20s, 1920s, there were still people that were getting rich. Now, there weren't many compared to the masses, but they were still getting rich because they believed, like you said, they believed that they could.
Yeah.
And they took the action that they needed to take.
Exactly. My grandfather was one of those people who actually prospered through the Depression because he believed he had that innate ability to grow money and inspire others to do so. And he worked hard to do that. But he was in the banking industry, and many people in the banking industry lost their lives, literally, right? There were a lot of people committed suicide during the Depression. A lot of people lost their jobs, they lost their livelihood. But my grandfather really worked, and he worked hard because it was hard times, right? But he worked through it because he believed in himself and he believed in the power of what he was doing for others to grow their money. And you can prosper during depressions, you can prosper during recessions. It's all about how you start thinking and then believing. That it's that inner belief of what you truly in your heart, in your soul, in your DNA know to be true. And we as spiritual human beings walking upon the earth know that deep inside. Every single person that's listening right now, deep inside, you have this belief because it's meant to be for you. It's just tapping into it and then courageously stepping forward with that understanding.
That's such a great point. It's so important that we do tap into that, that knowing. How did you do that for yourself, Laura?
So, I listened to a lot of podcasts. I listened to tons of informational, wonderful, enlightened individuals and wisdom. I studied with a couple of different gurus in the spiritual abundance sector, if you will. And then I started practicing, and it is a practice. It's about affirmations. It's about looking at money differently. It's about handling your finances with responsibility and joy. So one of the thing that stands out most to your question is I started a ritual of paying my bills based on joy. I would look at the bill and I would take forever to do this, really, really focusing in on it. Look at the bill and say, what did I get for this bill? What did I receive? What did I truly receive? Sometimes I would actually write down and bullet point everything I received. In today's world, people are complaining about their cell phone bill, right? Everybody says, oh, it's so much, it's so expensive to stay in touch. And so if I were paying that bill now and I had limited mindset about abundance, I would look at it and I'd say, oh my gosh, I get texting, I get this, I get this, I get this. I was able to, over the last month, connect with these people, and that made my heart sing. And then I would slowly write out the check. And I would sign it with a smiley face. And I would write a note in the memo. And I would send it out. I stopped sending things out. Initially, I stopped doing any banking online, just so that I could step into this great joy of receiving the gift of a bill. And then once I really got back into that, I went back to online banking, but I have a blank checkbook, and I still write the check out as I hit send and do it online, because it puts me in a place of joy and abundance for the things that people have given me in exchange for them wanting my money.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that it's really about doing it joyfully.
Yeah.
I used to be really resentful when I'd get bills every month.
Sure.
How dare, the vultures are circling, how dare they, that kind of thing. But then if you look at the bill, you realize they're charging you for a service or they're charging you for a product, and you get to use and enjoy that product or service. So it's an equal exchange. It's not when I get a bill, I'm getting ripped off. Right. It's even if I think it would be nice if the bill was a little less, it's still an exchange. And that's so great that you mentioned that, because I think it's a really prosperous way to look at it, even if we don't at the moment have exactly what we want in our checking account.
Exactly. And then it becomes a choice. If you look at it with joy and, I was able to receive X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we pay it, there's joy. What happened in that process is if I would get an energetic tweak or a pull where I couldn't step fully into the joy of that bill, I would look at that bill and say, okay, what am I feeling like I'm overpaying for? And is this a service that I really supports me right now? Can I find it somewhere else? Or do I need to go deeper and find more joy before I pay this? Because paying bills is a choice, right? Yes, we have mortgages, and they provide the roof over our heads, and there's an interest rate on them. But if you look at everything that you get from your house or your rental property when you're paying your rent or your mortgage. I mean, I just get giddy when I pay that. I just like, oh my gosh, it's my house and it's got the roof and it's got heat during the winter and it's got, cool breezes off of our river during the summertime. And, there's so much that a home gives you. And if you can step into the joy of it and raise your vibration as you're paying that bill, the universe is going to then co-create for you and find ways for abundance to come back in.
I agree with that 100%. Absolutely, yeah. Laura. And actually, it's happened to us very recently with our phone bill, with our cell phone bill.
Yeah.
Cell phone bill was a little, more than we would have liked, but it's for 4. We were a family of 4, so it's for 4 phones. We have those lines. We get to text. We get to, have Wi-Fi, which is great. Actually, we get Wi-Fi from a different company. But anyway, the bottom line is we get to use our phones, and they work very well. So just appreciating that when we're paying the bills. And then I've noticed the last 2-3 months, the bill's been a little bit less every time.
Isn't that funny?
It's gone down. Yeah, it's amazing. It's gone down by $5, then $10. And then just recently, and we're not sure why exactly, the last bill, we got $20 taken off.
Awesome.
It may be because of one of the issues we had with one of my son's phones. But it was one of those things that just wasn't expected. So great. So now an extra $20 off our bill. So it's great that you mentioned that.
And the other piece of that is if you look at a bill in terms of your cost per use, you will find more joy. You look at your I have my phone sitting right here, right? And the cost per use. So if I take the percentage of what this phone is, because we have 4 on our line as well, this runs about $45. That's about $1.25 a day. $1.25 a day to be able to ask hubby at the market, is there milk in the refrigerator? I can't remember. And it avoids a frustration when I get home if I don't get it and he wanted it. $1.25 a day for me to be able to text with my nieces who are just out of college, right? $1.25 a day for me to be able to answer an email quickly and effectively and efficiently for a potential client. If you think about being able to be in touch with potential clients for $1.25 a day for what they then will send me in abundance. Don't you want to pay that bill now? I want to pay it.
Exactly. It's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, universe. Thank you, phone company. Yeah, that's such an amazing thing when you think about. $1.25 a day. I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, it would be great if it was 75 cents a day. And yes, it would be great if it was 50 cents a day. But $1.25 a day, that's less than a coffee at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, especially Starbucks, it's a lot less.
A lot less. I haven't been to Starbucks lately.
Yeah. So, it really, when you break it down, it's really kind of a deal, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when you start looking at abundance and prosperity, when you do exercises like this, things start happening. You might find $1 in your pocket that you forgot was there. You might find $10 under your mattress. You might, we just, my guy has one of those big old Coke plastic things that's about 3 feet tall, filled with pennies and quarters and dimes and nickels. And we took it to the bank. And sure enough, we were able to literally pay our mortgage and then some. And then all of a sudden, it started to accumulate more because I don't use it, but he sees it and he keeps putting stuff in there because he's like, oh, this is great, right? So you create ways to be happy about the flow of money, because yes, it's going to go out. We are blessed to live in a first world country here in the United States. It costs us some money to be supported in the life that we have. So you have to embrace the flow of abundance. It comes in, it goes out. You're grateful for when it comes in. You appreciate being able to have the services for when it goes out. And you just allow that flow to be amplified.
That's such a great way to look at it. I love that. Thank you so much for that perspective, Laura. Now, what do you do every day to increase or maintain abundance in your own life?
Sure. So let's see. I'll come back here. This is my box. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's written, it's my checks from the universe.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So sometimes that's literally a check that goes in there that came in from a client. Not the literal check, but a little note card for me about what came in. Some people might call it a gratitude box, where if there was a joy that came in, unexpected funnels of income, all of that goes in there. And at the end of the month, I release it to the universe so that more can come in. So that's one of my little spiritual tips and tricks. I have a few of them that I do, though.
I love that. I love that you have physical evidence right by your side.
Yeah.
As to the money that's coming into you.
Sure. And somebody would say to me, "Oh, Laura, that's getting a little deep." But I actually put into that the interest I make off of bank accounts. Because those things are really, the little things add up more than we ever know, but we have to focus on them. So as you're growing in abundance practice and prosperity practice, focusing on the little things, build your faith, build your trust in the law of prosperity.
Absolutely. What we focus on expands.
Exactly.
So if you're focusing on prosperity, you're going to get more prosperity. And that's just one of those wonderful laws of the universe. And, it's like gravity. You don't necessarily have to believe in gravity, but it's there.
Yeah.
Try to jump out your window. I mean, heaven forbid you want to do that.
Don't go do that.
You're not going to fly. You're just not going to fly because we have gravity. So it's the same kind of thing with the universal laws here that we've been talking about.
Yes.
Now, Laura, what is the number one thing you'd like our viewers to know about creating abundance?
I think that what I find in society in general is that everybody's looking for a quick fix. They're looking for the pill to lose 5 or 10 pounds. They're looking for somebody else to be responsible for something. Building a new mindset, building new practices is a skill, and skills take development. It takes time. So don't beat yourself up if you haven't won the lottery in a week of trying to develop prosperity mindset. This is a skill. Think about how much shoulding you've done on yourself up to this point. How many lessons have been taught to you, as we were talking about in the beginning, of having money is greedy. You have to cut through a lot of limiting beliefs to get to the point where you have full faith and full trust that the universe is going to align itself for your highest good. But do that. Take those one brilliant and vibrant step at a time in your development. Just take one brilliant, vibrant step at a time and keep going forward. And find somebody to help you. I didn't do this by myself. I've listened to podcasts. I've studied with spiritual gurus. I've done the work. I've gone deep and embraced some of those limiting beliefs of mine. And it doesn't happen overnight. But if you keep taking that one brilliant and vibrant step at a time, get support doing it, that law has to create more prosperity in your life. It's designed to do that, and so it will.
Exactly. The universe is divinely designed. Whether you believe in God, whether you believe in any kind of higher being, higher power, it's just how it works. And when you realize that and tap into it, like you mentioned, it does take time. It's not going to be an overnight thing. One little step at a time will eventually get us where we want to go.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah. And as you grow and as you begin to glow more, those steps take you further and further. So you start out with those baby steps. It's just like riding the bike, you know, put those training wheels on, you take them off, you wiggle and you woggle a little bit, and then you start picking up speed and you're able to navigate the road ahead of you. So, you know, just anybody who's listening or watching this, I believe in you. I have faith in you. And if that's helps spearhead you forward, I hope you'll take that energy with you.
Yes, that's such a great point. And we absolutely, that's why we have put this Abundance Master series together. We absolutely believe in you, our viewers, and you can absolutely do it. And we're so excited that we're here and so grateful that we're here to give you some guidance. Yeah. So, Laura, how can viewers get in touch with you?
So the easiest way is to go through the good old internet on one of these phone things and or a desktop. My website is soulwiseliving.com. And if you want some deeper understanding of how I work with people, there is a opt-in for to get your Soul Wise Compass. And it's a 4-part audio series where you will learn more about some of the basic fundamental tenets that I teach that will also help bolster your understanding of law and prosperity and abundance creation.
Thank you so much for that gift to our viewers. And thank you so much for the gift of your presence here. This has been such an amazing interview.
Oh, it's fun.
So, Laura Clark, thank you so much for being with us, and looking forward to continuing to help our viewers in their abundance path. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.